Life as we know it has changed. Some of us may now be unable to do everything we used to, and tasks that used to be simple may now feel like demanding chores. Getting up in the morning, swinging a golf club, and even bending over to pick up the morning newspaper have become much more difficult. However, there are many ways to improve and overcome these daily challenges, which ultimately improve our daily lives. We're going to discuss how you can get back to living your regular, everyday lives by improving one little thing: balance. This is our intro to balance. When discussing balance, we think about the primary goal of maintaining our body's upright position. However, there are many factors we often overlook that do in fact contribute to managing this upright position. Our main proponents of balance include bone strength, muscle strength and mass, vision and body awareness, posture, and overall health. Our first proponent of balance is bone strength. Having strong bones is important to balance because it keeps our body in an upright posture and reduces our risk for falling. Having strong bones is associated with having strong muscles. This is primarily due to an increase in muscle activity during movement, which creates stronger bones. So be active, and don't get in the habit of being a couch potato. Strong muscles, as a factor of its own, are also important in balance. Individuals with increased muscle strength and mass show superior balance in comparison to those with less. In addition, we as humans use vision and body awareness to aid in upholding proper balance. This is because our vision observes and gives us information about our outside environment, while our body awareness helps to track our bodies relative to that environment. Our final factor is posture. A person with impaired posture typically has impaired balance, since these people are typically elderly. Posture can get worse with age, strongly due to decreased muscle and bone strength, and thus people with poor posture are usually at a greater risk for falling. Unfortunately, these factors that contribute to balance are altered with increased age. A lower muscle and bone strength and poor posture are all impairments older individuals may face, particularly as symptoms of osteoporosis. This means that people with osteoporosis often have impaired balance proponents, and thus could show difficulties managing their balance. So, what can we do to improve our balance? The following are methods to achieve this in exercise. The width of our stance directly relates to our degree of balance. Therefore, the most stable, balanced stance to start from is with the feet just outside of shoulder width, like a pyramid. Here our base of support is widened and increases our stability. Then the feet can gradually be brought closer together to hip width to test a smaller base of support. An even more challenging task would be to stand with the feet together as close as possible. One foot can then be moved slightly in front of the other, but still side by side into a semi-tandem stance. Pushing this even further would be to go into a full tandem stance with one foot in front of the other, heel to toe. Finally, the most reduced base of support would be a single leg stance. Make sure when doing these exercises that you have a stable support next to you, like a chair. If you find the previous task too difficult, try progressing through them while holding on to a chair with both hands. Hopefully, by using the chair, you will be able to build up to performing these tasks on your own. Adding instability to the body system is another way to challenge balance. There are two main ways to introduce instability to the body, and one of those ways is through the feet. The feet are used to stable surfaces, so by changing that regular surface to something like a foam pad, we add instability and therefore challenge balance. The second way to introduce instability is through adding disturbances to the upper body. The removal of vision is a great means for challenging balance because it not only provides information about our environment, but also about the orientation and movement of our bodies. When our eyes are closed, the body loses these senses and is unable to interpret where it is located in space, thus decreasing our balance. Adding a second task for one to focus on while in a position of potential instability is a way to challenge balance further. An example of this while standing could be catching a ball. This could be used as a game to incorporate a positive experience with training, like playing catch. To increase the difficulty to any of the static exercises, dynamic elements can be introduced, which often shift the stability of the subject. For example, adding instability at the upper body. This is when the subject's base is stable, but disturbances are put upon them, which tests their stability and their ability to re-establish balance. Even when a person steps or moves in response to a disturbance, they attempt to return back to their initial position. Other options for dynamic methods are performing any squatting variations while also balancing. Squatting not only challenges balance, but is also a demanding task for your muscles. Many of these mentioned methods can be combined together for increased difficulty if capable. For example, you could stand on an unstable surface with your eyes closed, or you could stand in a single leg stance while playing catch. But how can these exercises help us in everyday life? For someone not used to balance exercise or exercise in general, these activities might be difficult because your muscles may tire easily. But if you start with an exercise that is somewhat easy and you gradually progress into more difficult exercises, all while prioritizing good upright posture, your balance will improve as a result. With osteoporosis, you need to keep in mind that repetition is key, and that starting off with something simplistic is best. And these exercises will prepare you for everyday tasks like walking or climbing stairs. So, although many people with osteoporosis may have decreased strength and balance, it does not take much to improve very positively. Getting out of bed, getting out on the course, and grabbing the morning newspaper can again seem like a piece of cake.